this year? Are we maybe going more toward that?
Yeah, I mean, we're emphasizing fundamentals. Obviously, as an offensive line, we didn't meet where we wanted to be last year. So, all the things that we're focusing on is going back to the basics, back to fundamentals. Talk about the power running game. Schematically, we're running some of the things, same things. We're just doing it a little bit better. That's the emphasis.
Where did you, when you say you play as well as you wanted to, where did you fall short in your eyes?
Some of our first, second down production. Thought we could have been better in some regards at our first and second down production. Sometimes when you look at the film or you look at the stats, sometimes they can be misleading, and I think that we got a lot of things to work on in that area. It's mainly hitting at those points. Didn't do a bad job on third down, particularly third down and short, but it's just getting that ball started, right? Getting the ball started, getting that first down, and putting ourselves in manageable, third downs. So that's where we are. Are you cold?
No.
Okay.
What do you think? Ethan and Bryce and even Turner in that last game sort of got from last year when you look back at it and kind of molding them?
Yeah, it was critical, man. It was critical getting those guys those reps, particularly Turner. Everybody, but you talk about a guy that's making his first start, and just the jitters that come along with that. He had got an opportunity to get in a couple other games, but it's that first start and being special and all of that. Now we're over that. Now it's time to play football, right? So and he did a nice job, did a really good job in that last game against Rutgers. He was not. It seems like we handled it like the the player that he is. He's a very mature kid, and we're expecting some big things moving forward from him.
Who are the guys that can push a tackle? I guess not going through your whole roster, but who are the guys that could push Turner and Bryce and tackle and kind of line it up to start spring?
Yeah, I mean there's guys like Brant Banks, Jimmy Fritchie's coming along well. A surprise guy, Nuri, transfer from Colorado State. He's stepping out there as well. Ezra Miller stepping out there as well. So we got a nice little stable of tackles, and Teddy's impressed me thus far. Teddy Prohaska. So we got a lot of young blood out there that can mix it up.
Greg, what's the next step for Cam and his progression? Is it leadership? I mean, and then where do you want to see him physically?
Yeah, it's leadership, and we're still working on that command presence, being the comptroller, if you will, having control, like having ultimate control of the offense and ultimate control of, honestly, his, emotions as it relates to delivering the snap consistently, and that's a big deal, So done a nice job thus far. That's one of the things that we've been really, really hammering on as of late is, what happens, what are the tendencies for us to spray snaps, because it's not a mechanics deal, it's a focus. It's focus. It's first things first. That's what I always tell them. First things first. Just make sure we get that snap back. And golly, man, he did a great job over winter conditioning and, getting his body. I mean, he's one of the best athletes on our team, so most explosive kids on our team. So there's a lot of talent. Now it's just, some of the intangible things that we're working on with him.
Cam was saying on Monday that one of the emphasis for the offense is creating more explosive plays. The offensive line, what do you guys do to improve to facilitate some of those?
Doing our job, finishing our blocks. And that's one of the other emphasis as well. Coach Frost, I'll give him a lot of credit. He's changed up some of the things that we do in practice. I won't go into detail, but he's allowed us to really emphasize, finish. And through the first couple practices, it's been really cool to see, us playing until the end of the whistle, with less emphasis on going fast. you know, and you know that's a big adjustment, you know, as it relates to the boys, because you got to take care of the boys in order to do that. You know, if you're not taking care of them and you're just balls to the wall every single play, you know, then there's a fatigue factor that's naturally built in. You know, but you want to get more explosive plays, you got to stick on blocks longer. You know, and can't stick on blocks if you're tired of shit.
Greg, what kind of a plan do you have to start the spring at guard? Obviously, you have Ethan with experience, but what about the other side?
Yeah, we got, I mean, there's Ethan, there's Matt Zichterman, there's Brock Bando, Brant Banks is taking reps, Nuri is taking reps as well. Ezra Miller is in there taking reps. You know, that's one of the places, you know, Trent Hickson, you know, who's playing double duty with center as well. You know, there's a lot of bodies that we're rotating in at that position to find the best player, but then also the best combination between guard tackle, center guard. You know, so that's a good problem to have because you know iron sharpens iron, and you know it's a competition. You know, so may the best man win.
What have you learned about Ezra? Scott mentioned him on Monday too. Obviously, getting here late, you guys are getting prep for the season and game planning. So, how much have you been able to sort of learn about him over the past couple weeks this spring?
Well, he was here last year. He went through the season with him. You know, he's an athletic kid. I mean, you know, he was, you know, highly touted recruited coming out of high school. You know, you never know, you know, why a guy comes or transfers or doing this and that. But Ezra's been awesome since he's been here, you know, and he's been a hard worker. He's athletic, you know, he's coachable, you know. So there's some things that he's rough around the edges on that we got to, you know, really hone in terms of his technique. But nevertheless, you know, good player. I expect some big things out of him as he's in this program. He develops.
What's the next step for Ben Hart?
Be consistent. I mean, there was flashes there last year where he was, you know, pretty dang on good. Now it's just about that consistency. You know, naturally, you know, you're a freshman and you're playing your first season. I had to raise your freshman, but you know, the more reps he gets, the more comfortable he gets. You know, the game is slowing down for him. You know, and you know, as a freshman, especially early in the season, you know, everything is a learn. I was like, man, damn, I got to learn that. I got to learn that. I got to learn that. So for him, it's being consistent now that he's learned some of the natural lessons that you got to learn at that position. You know, so that's what I talked to him about now. You know, you can tell that the things that we repeat. You know, coaching is it's a profession of just repeating yourself. And now you can tell that with that repetition, it's sticking. You know, it's not just like going here and going there. It's like going here and it's like jangling around somewhere up there, and it's not making out as much. You know, for lack of a better way to say it.
The guard battle you guys are going through this week, what are you looking for someone to separate themselves? What a guy have to do to really stand out this spring at the guard?
Do well. I mean, freaking.
Like, what are the qualities?
The ability to move people inside, right? The ability to hold a firm pocket in terms of the depth, okay? And then also to be a really good complement to the center and the tackle. You know, I've been around good players, but not good team players at guards. You know, you got to be ultimate team player at the guard position, right? Certainly at the center position, but you know, you got to make your tackle better. You got to make you're posting a lot of blocks. You know, where you're in a double team and you're responsible for really establishing, you know, the line of scrimmage. You know, so that's the standard for guards is how well can you hammer the line of scrimmage? You know, can you reestablish the line of scrimmage? Can you hold firm in protection? That's the standards and that's the qualities of a good guard.
Greg, you mentioned double duty for Trent in terms of playing backup center and working at guard. You know, how important can he be in that role if it is in fact his role? And what kind of confidence did you get from him in the way he finished last season with the Rutgers game?
Yeah, I mean, Trent has been, you know, he's been a guy that's very familiar with. You know, he started all of 2019 season. So and probably started, a year too early, but nevertheless, very familiar with him, and I'm, pretty pumped about where he is as a center. Stepping in there, we know Will Farniak ended up transferring, so Trent stepped in there, and he's done a really good job of learning that position, and also learning, all the intangibles that comes with that position. Guard is a position that he played, he got a lot of reps at, throughout the years, so it's just that familiarity. And then, honestly, Trent has played all three positions inside, left guard, right guard, and center, so a lot of value in that, in him, in this program, and so we're looking forward to seeing, what he can do.
What do you see in your role as run game coordinator, when you look at the backs that you guys brought in addition to the ones that are coming back, but with Irvin and Marquise, how does that complement their style, their physicality, and size? What do you want to do in that aspect?
Yeah, we got some good things planned for those guys. Those guys have done a great job. We're changing up some of the backfield sets, to really get those guys coming a little bit more downhill, So we're excited about that, and those guys are talented players, they're different players, Step, you talk about Marquise Urban, but nevertheless, good players. I mean, we see some really good things out of those guys already. If we just do our job, heck, those guys look even better, right? So that's our emphasis.
How much did this offseason help in terms of just the offensive staff? Obviously, back after your last year, and then the pandemic shut things down on after you got here. So, how's that process been this winter?
Yeah, it's been awesome. We've had an opportunity to look at what we did last year, look at what we did since we've been here, right? In some regards, and then with us being not being able to go on the road recruiting, we've been able to do some research, and look at ways to kind of tweak the things that we do to make them better and really coach it through a lot of detail, So sometimes you kind of put something new in, and then you're like learning all the lessons like after you do it wrong for 1,500 times, right? Now we've kind of worked out the kinks, if you will. So that's given us an opportunity between Coach Frost, Coach Lubick, and all the offensive staff to really be on the same page more in what we're doing.
Sorry, Kurt, I got asked about Turner, but with the end of the season last year and that start, did that do something for him as far as pushing him into winter conditioning, and where do you see him coming into the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier. It's the first game jitters of the start and all of that. He's past that. He's a very mature kid. He was mature when he got on campus, and he's always kind of held this demeanor, where kind of he always saw himself in that role. So as he approached off season, he kind of kept on that same mentality, and now he finds himself as the guy. It's not different. He's prepared himself way before now for that role. So excited about him and excited about what his future looks like here. Good. All right, guys.